Hey guys, in this video we are going to learn how can you pick a date in UiPath or how can you design a date picker in UiPath. Let me give you a demo how this one works. So this is a site, okay? This is a site where you can book your ticket, or it could be any kind of a site, and there will be a need where you need to go to a specific space and then select a date. Let's say you wanted to book a ticket, you want to book a flight ticket, you want to book a room. So there will be many places where this kind of a calendar will be available, and you can plan your schedule. Let's say I need a ticket on September 9th, right? So I need to go to this place by hitting on this particular icon manually and then select the date whichever I need. So this is how you select a date on a page. Now let's see how this can be designed within UiPath Studio. This could be a slightly tricky workflow which I'm going to teach you everything from the beginning, not to worry, but let's just have a demo how this one works. Okay, so I have invoked this particular workflow and I'm going to run this, and I'm going to show you the demo as to how this one works. Okay, so give it a few seconds so that you get a live demo as to how this one is working automatically. So first thing, it is prompting the user which date, enter your travel date or whatever date it is. So let's say the user will be entering a date, let's say 8th slash October slash 2022. Okay, so in this workflow, this has been highly well designed, wherein let's say if you do not put a 0, still it will accept the date. So all this designing has been done within the workflow. I'm going to demonstrate that. At the moment, let's keep it simple, hit on OK, and it should select the 8th October in this calendar. Okay, so you can see it is automatically moving the calendar on my screen, right? And then it should automatically, you can see it has automatically selected the date. Did you get it? So how this workflow has been designed, we are going to start everything from the beginning. Before that, in case you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and hit on the bell icon to stay up to date with a lot of UiPath information that you could get from our channel. Now with that, let's get started and start designing everything from the beginning. Okay, we'll go very slow and we will try to ensure everything is done properly. Now, what is the first thing we need to do? If you look at the behavior of the web page, right, you need to always look at the behavior of the web page. The moment you click on it, right, the moment you click on this, what you see here, the month is written in this format, June 2022, July, August, right? And when you look at the user, he is giving the date in a different format. So how do you match all of that? And you need to move through this window and go to the specific month that user has selected. For that you have to write a condition, and then you also have to ensure whatever the date that initially the user has entered, it should select that, right? So how this can be done, let's see that everything from the scratch. Okay, now the very first thing what I will do, just to keep it simple, I am going to use an input dialog box using which I am going to ask the user to enter the date. Okay, so I'll say enter the travel date or whatever it is, enter the travel date, and I will say DDMMYY. So we are expecting the user to give the date in a right format, and this input also could come from an Excel file. From the Excel file there is already date and you have to pick that up. So it could come in various format, but again we'll keep it simple to a input dialog box. Okay, and then here once the value is entered by the user, let it get stored in a string variable called str input, string input. Okay, so this much is done. Once this is done, what we need to do is we need to get a value something like this. So whatever the date the user is entering, it should finally convert itself to this format, right? Month in the entire spelling, space and year. So how this can be done? Okay, this can be done using a simple assign activity and few lines of code. So let's say I'll use the assign activity, drag and drop, and here we will create a variable and name it str string month year. What is the variable name? String month year. Done. Now this is the input which will have the entire format. So let's say the user is entering 02/10/2022, it will have the entire date. Now I need to convert that into this format, right? Month year format. So to do that, all I have to do, I have to use a function called datetime.parseExact. Okay, so using this function, I'll be able to design this. So datetime parseExact will put parenthesis, and then I'll mention the input string. What is the input string? str input, right? This is our input string that we have defined here, str input. So ensure your spelling and everything remains accurate. Okay, so I've entered the string input variable, comma, then which format. So current right now, the one the user is entering, the user would be entering in ddmmyy. In Microsoft .NET date formats, okay, you need to be aware. I will make you aware of one of the important thing, date format Microsoft. Simply type this, and here you would find the docs.microsoft.com. Open this page. Okay, this is very important. Anytime you are working on datetime format, all the developers around the world would be referring to this specific page when they have to work on .NET. Now here if you see, if you write single D, what happens? If you write double D, what happens? Let's say if I'm writing double D, day in 2 digits, if the day number is a single digit number, let's say 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, right? These are all single digit. It is displayed with a leading 0. So it will say 09, 08 like that. Day as a number 1 to 31. If the day number is a single digit number, it is displayed without a leading 0. So without a leading 0, it will display. Okay, similar way for month, right? If you write double M, it will come in the digital format. If you write 4 M's, the name of the month spelled in full, the format is supported. So full month like January, December. So this is the format. So we have referred to that. So let's go here. So this is the input format. Okay, how we are getting it from the user, and then I will say comma, and then this is the syntax. You need to make a note: system dot globalization dot culture info. So to remember, this is quite easy. Global culture, right? System global culture, like that. If you remember, you will be able to type it on your own. Culture info dot invariant culture. Okay, this is the syntax. So once you write until here, okay, then put a .toString. So while I'm doing, you should also try to do it on your system so that it becomes quite easy, and you can replicate what I'm doing and experiment. So this is what the entire format, and then which format I need. So right now we need in this format, month and year format, right? Now for the entire month, what I will do, I'll put double quote and write MMM 4 times. Getting it? MMM 4 times. Give it a space because there was single space, and Y in small letter. M in capital, Y in small. Exactly, we are following the format described in Microsoft Docs. The name of the month spelled in full. Okay, so 4 M's, and then small y means all these formats you can read. YYY means the year number in 4 digits. Getting it? So we are writing in the exact format. Done. Now after doing this, one should always try to test and see how the output is coming, right? As we are learning, it is very important for us to see the outputs step by step. Okay, we'll go step by step. So here I am simply mentioning string month here. Okay, so now whatever date I am going to provide, it should convert that into month year format. So let's see. So let me close this. Okay, give it a quick second. So here the input dialog box has come, and let me enter a date. Let's say 12 and I'm going to say 12 and then 2022. Okay, so that means 12 December 2022. So the output should come December space 2022. Do you see? So the output is working perfectly fine. Okay, so we understood. So I'll delete the message box. So we have tested. I'm going to remove that. So we got it. Now the next thing what you need to do is we need to get onto the particular page, and in the page, first thing is you have to click on the check-in, isn't it? Now to do that, we will design everything in the modern format. Okay, so for that, all you have to do, if you simply type browser, there is something called use application browser. This is the modern design. This is the modern activity. So use application browser. The older one will be attach browser, open browser. Those are the old classic activities. Use application browser is the new modern way of doing it. So I have got this activity, and then it is asking me to indicate. I'll hit on indicate and then hit on escape. Keep the page on the background, indicate and select the page. So that way it will understand, it will fetch all the details of the URL that you will be working upon, right? So if you hit on this, you can see it has took all the required data, and here you can see URL. If you click on this, the URL has been well captured. Okay, so everything is done. Now once this is done, next thing is I should hit on check-in. Now to click on check-in, what should I do? I'll use a click activity, very simple. So I'll say click activity. So I'm going to use the modern click activity inside this. Okay, the modern will have this kind of appearance. I'll hit on indicate and I'm going to hit on the check-in. Okay, so ensure the box is well selected. Okay, this is important. Otherwise, if you select a wrong box, it might act differently. So I'm selecting this properly. Okay, and then it is asking you to select the anchor. So I will select this box as my anchor. Okay, anchor and target is selected, and here there is a selector option. I will check this just to double sure and then hit on confirm. So you understood how I have hit on the check-in button. So this will go and click on the check-in button. Okay, after hitting on check-in button, what I want, I would try to get the value of this. Okay, so so it is here by default because it's June 2022. So I am going to get the value of this. So to get the value of this, I will use an activity known as get text. Okay, get text activity. I will drag and drop this get text activity inside this. And here again it is asking me to indicate. So hit on indicate and select this specific box. Okay, the green color should appear properly. If it is not appearing, then you should restart your browser, right, and check if you have installed the extension or not. All these things you should verify. So here this green box has come, so I'll hit on this. Okay, soon after that it will ask you to select the target element. So I'll go up. I know there is a check-in button here, so I'll keep this as a anchor element. Okay, this becomes the green was the target, this one is the blue one is the anchor, right? And in this also go ahead and select the selector, so it will have the proper selector and hit on confirm. So in the modern design it becomes quite easy to handle the selectors. It will have everything on its own, it will pick it up. Okay, if you would like to modify, you can of course do that. That is one thing. Next thing, right, this is done. Now here I want to save this output to a variable. So I will show you what this output would contain. So let's give it a name, string calendar. So what this will contain, because we are selecting that area, our main goal is to get this value. Okay, get this value. So let's see if it is really getting the value or not using a message box. Drag and drop this message box below this. Okay, and here I am going to simply say string calendar and try to see if the value is really coming properly or not. So let's run it. Okay, let's see. You have the option run from this activity. There are a lot of these options are there. So let me give it a date. Let's say 15th August 2022. Hit on OK. So it has clicked on it, you can see, and now it has fetched the value June 2022, whatever the value is on the left hand side. There are two different boxes. Okay, this is one element, the second one is another element. So on the left element, so it is fetching the value June 2022. Very good. Okay, so it is doing its job. So let me remove the message box. Now here is the trick. How can I really, because whatever month the user is going to enter, I should be able to navigate to that page by hitting on this, right? This should click until it matches the name. So what we have done just before that, we have got the string month year volume from the value from the user input, right? This is the user input, and from here we are converting that to a specific format. So what we will do, we'll put a condition. Which condition? You can use multiple different conditions. I will go with a while condition. Okay, so I'll drag and drop a while condition just below that, and here what I will say, the string month year. This is the user value converted into month year, right? Dot trim. I'll just do a trim in case if there is some kind of a space, it will remove it until until it does not equals to. Okay, this symbol means it is not equals to, okay. So let me increase the font a little bit, if that would help. 105 should help. Okay, so here this symbol, lower, less than and greater than, these two symbols is nothing but not equals to. Okay, not equals to. So string month year dot trim not equals to which one? String calendar, right? String calendar means the value coming from this one, this left side panel. Okay, if they are both not equals, then you should go and hit on this button, right? And that is the objective. So I will use a click activity, drag and drop the click activity, and here I will indicate in Chrome, and I'm going to point out to this specific button. Okay, so selecting this UI element is very important. Okay, so I've selected, and then it will ask me to select. So I will move it to the left hand side, and I'll keep this as an anchor, nearby element. So I'll keep this as an anchor. Okay, done. And then I am also going to hit on the selector just to ensure everything is perfectly fine. Okay, so everything looks good. Now hit on confirm. If any error comes, we will try to tackle that later. Okay, so the click button has been enabled. So what it will do, until the string month dot year dot trim is equals to string calendar dot trim. So if both the values, until they are equal, it is going to hit on trim, right? So inside this body, there is a very important activity that you have to place. What is that? The important activity is, I need to keep on, because every time the mouse is going to hit on this, the value of this would change, yes or no? The value is changing. Every time it clicks on the left arrow, the values is changing, so it should fetch the new value. Now to fetch the new value, all we will do, we'll copy this get text activity, highlight this, paste it. So it will paste below this. Okay, so it is going to update the new value, and again with the new value, it is going to check is it matching with the user value. If not, it will again hit on that button. So that is the logic that we have used. Okay, so let's see if this logic is working or not. First of all, we'll verify that, then we'll get on to the next step. So let's save it and then hit on run file. Keep the browser open. Okay, let's see. So first of all, it will prompt me. So give me a date. Let's say 06/12/2022. That means it should go till December, right? Hit on OK. Look at this. Do you see it is going till December? It should go till December and should stop. Okay, so our workflow is perfectly working fine. Now once this is done, what is the next thing? It should, once it goes to the specific month, it should go and hit on the date, right? Now date. Now in the date, if you see, when the user could enter, he could enter in two different formats. He might write 06/12/2022, or he might also write 6/12/2022, or he might write, if it is double digit, it will not be a problem. Single digit, there is a problem, right? So if he enters 06, and if you are finding 06 and the UI element to click will not find, it will throw an error. So what is that? Let's see. Okay, so what I will do, the user is entering the data in this variable, so we need to work on this variable. So what I will do, I'll use a assign activity once again just below this, and here I'm going to create a variable, and I'm giving a name called string date only. Okay, string date only, or string date, whatever name you would like to give. And then here we will write the expression. The expression is very important while you are designing a workflow, right? So here I will say date time tab dot parse exact tab parenthesis. Within that, what is the format I said? Write the variable which is containing the entire string, comma, which format the entire string is. This is in this format, dd YY. Okay, so there is something, there is an advanced technique I am going to show you. So this is done, and then I'll put a comma. Okay, I'm going to put a comma, If if you would like to allow the user even with single number, sometimes if it's 6, he can type 06 or he can type 0. So all you do, as per the Microsoft format, you can simply write a single D. So that would allow both the different values, double digit and single digit dates. It will allow the same thing. We'll do it for this one. So this is the trick. Instead of dd, you can simply say d. So that will allow both the formats. Okay, so this is done. Now after this, you have to say system, the same thing that I have taught just before that, system dot global culture, I said, right? So you will type globalization culture info and then invariant culture. Okay, that's it, very simple. And then you will say dot to string. All these syntaxes, more you practice, you'll be able to get it on its own, right? It'll be on your fingertips. Until then, you need to write and keep it with you in a book. So dot to string and then in double quotes, right? So which format I need? I just need I need the date format. The problem is I need in the D format, so I don't need a 0. If it is single digit, I don't need a 0. But if you write simply D, I will tell you what is the problem would happen. Okay, so there is a lot of trick involved, that's I'm going to show you. So here let me add a message box. Okay, so here if I simply write D, because D means what, it will only give the date, only if it is 06 also it will give the value as 6, right? So string date only. Okay, so now if I run, so there is an option, if you right click, run to this activity, so it will run until this activity. Okay, and it will stop. So you can utilize this option during your testing, during your development of the project. So let it run. It will ask me for a user input now. Okay, let's say I'm entering a user input 18/07/2022. Instead of 0, sorry, let me give it a 0. Let me give it a 08. Okay, so the input is 08. So the output should say only 8, should not say 08. Okay, so there will be a problem. Okay, let me show you. Hit on continue. At the last activity will say continue, so continue. So see, it is giving the entire format 0708, and that means it's a US format, month, date, this one. So this won't work for me, right? So how do you redesign? So let me stop this. So how do you redesign? Tell me, how do you redesign? So to redesign, let's go to the assign activity. Okay, and in the assign activity, we'll open this. I'll teach you another way to get the value that we needed. Okay, so I'll say dd and I'm going to say capital mm means it will give the month format in the digit, like 070/08 if it is August, right? So it will give in that format. So once I get in this format, what I will do, I'll use a split function. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use a split function, and I'm going to split this as per the forward slash. So I'm going to split this as per the forward slash. Okay, and then what are the syntax for this? You have to simply write a C means character, and then once it'll get the value in 0, so it will say 8/07, seventh month, 8 date. Okay, let's say 8/07 or 8/12 December. So 8th December, so 8/December 12 it will say. So out of that, when it splits, there will be two values, one is 8, the other one will be 12. So out of that, I want the first value, the index number of the array 0. If I use, it will give the first value. Okay, so if you know how the array works, whatever the values are there in the array, so when you split, it will have two different values, so array of two values. So if I have to access the first value, which will be the D, I simply have to write a 0. Okay, that is the trick. So let me show you how this trick works. If I run, so I'll say run until this activity. Okay, so it will not run here, so I'll say run to this activity, so it will stop here. So until the message box, it will run. Okay, so let's see how, if we are getting the value, then there is a small trick involved which I'm going to teach you, and we'll be good. Okay, so here let me enter a date. Let's say 9th, right? I'm entering 09. but it should only say 9th as an output. 09/12/2022 I have entered and hit on OK. Okay, now see, in the string date only it is giving me the number 9. Why I am so serious about the 0? Reason being, here if the element says 09, it will not be able to find the element to click. So that's why I have to be ensure I'm giving the right one. So now you have a question, Rakesh, what would happen if you enter a double digit, let's say 12 August if you enter, or 15th August if you enter? So is it going to show me 15th? Yes, let's test that. If you get that question in your mind, run to this activity, and now let me enter a double digit date. Okay, so if a double digit, it will pull the double digit. Only if it is single digit, it will remove that 0. Okay, so now if I'm going to enter, let's say 15th August 2022, hit on OK. So the final output should say 15th. Okay, so it is coming properly. So we got it. Now we understood this. Let's stop this here, and then let's design the second part. What is the second part? It should go and click on the date, right? Once it comes to the page, it should go and click onto the date. So to click on onto the date, let me delete the message box. It's not required anymore. So I'll scroll down. So I should be out of the loop. Okay, come out of the loop, and outside I will use a click activity. And there is a trick. Okay, I have tried with the modern design click activity, it did not help me. So what I did, I am using a classic design. So click on the filter, show classic, and here you would have a classic activity. Okay, and this can be dynamically changed, so I am using a classic click activity. Remember this. Okay, many people might struggle with the modern one, so I'm using a classic one because the modern one was quite difficult to add a dynamic variable. So I'm doing it using the classic. You can still experiment on the modern activity and let me know. Okay, so in the classic design, what I will do, I'll hit on the indicate element, and I'm going to select any date. Doesn't matter which date, I'm going to select any date. Okay, so I have selected a date. Okay, once I've selected a date, what I would do, I'll go to the selector. Okay, I'll go to the selector, and here whatever the date you have selected, highlight that and right click and use variable. So let me tell it, show it again. So what you do, once you have the classic activity, indicate on screen, select a date, right? Select a date, and then once you select a date, hit on this, and then open this panel, and here highlight the date. Once you double click on the date, right click and hit on use variable, control K, and here all you have to do, select the date only, because this date only variable will have the date, right? And then here, very important, override the default value, hit on confirm. Okay, and then validate. You should get a green symbol. If you're not getting a green tick, that means something wrong while doing this. So try to do it again by looking at the video properly. Okay, so this is done. So validated, hit on OK. All right, so our dynamic way of selecting a date or a date picker in UiPath has been designed. So let's experiment it now. So what I'm doing, I have called this workflow using the invoke workflow file, and I've selected the XML automate with Rakesh demo. I've selected this file and I'm going to run it from the main now. Okay, so let's test it. So what I will do, I'll refresh the page first of all, and then let's run this workflow from the main. So I'm running this main. Okay, give it a quick second. Now the very first thing, it is asking me date. So let me give it a date. Let's say 06/12/2022. Okay. Now what should happen? Okay, let me stop it. I think meanwhile I clicked on somewhere, so let me start it again. Run file. Okay, let me enter a date 6/12/2022. Hit on OK. Okay, it has clicked on check-in. Now you can see the months are changing. August, Look at the left side panel, September, October, November, and then it should stop at December. Okay, and then it should select the 6th. Do you see it has selected 6th on the web page? So this is how you can design the entire workflow. Hope you had a great fun while learning this. Similar way we're going to come up with more such interesting topics. So please do subscribe and hit on the bell icon to stay up to date on UiPath. So please do subscribe to my channel. We're going to meet once again in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.